Wabadebadoo, episode 11, July 10th, 2016.
Huzzah, adventurers! Welcome to Loot Table, your one source for all things online gaming. With your host, Caeleste, Tannlin, Lucitie, and Flattuss. So pull up a chair, adventurers, and share in the loot.
Live from Desert Rain Studios, talking about all things fun and interesting in the world of online video games, connecting gamers with the game they play. Won't you please pull up a chair and join us at the Loot Table? Loot Table is an online video game podcast recorded live Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern at twitch.tv/loot_table. I am one of your normal weekly regular host, Tannlin, and with me are our three other normal weekly and regular hosts.
Hi, guys.
Hi, I'm Kai.
Hi, I'm Lucy.
I'm a person. I'm Flattuss. I'm a Flattuss.
It's really interesting because I asked what the show title was called, right? And you guys said, oh, it's Simlish, right? So when I went to type in what the name of the show was, I didn't look at the show document and saw that it was Wabadebadoo or whatever Flattuss said it was. I typed in Simlish.
It's Wabadebadoo. It means I'm on fire.
That's some like grade A translation right there. It's like what you see in a B movie that's in a different language. It's just like
Yeah, Wabadebadoo. I'm on fire.
colloquial phrase. Like it doesn't actually tell you what the phrase is. It just says it in brackets.
Yeah.
So I've gone ahead and corrected it. So hi guys. Again, internet might skip and it might lag. We'll do the best we can. As always, the YouTube video replay and the iTunes download for the podcast or Stitcher, way better quality because we don't have to worry about the live streaming it. So how is everybody doing this week? We took a week off for the 4th of July. I spent it staying indoors where it was air conditioned and watching movies.
I'm energized. I got my hair cut off. I'm having a good time. I bought a concert ticket that I'm incredibly excited about, and then VIP passes for the guy to read me a fucking book.
We also got VIP passes to that other show.
Vast, yeah. I'm excited about that one too.
Let's see,
Use
4th of
an app.
July. I spent 6 hours in my kitchen baking.
I consoled dogs that were terrified of the fireworks.
All right. So as we do every week, the first segment of the show, we call Patch Notes. Patch Notes is our clever and witty way of saying that, hey, we've got some news about online video games and we'd like to talk about them a little bit. The first two are big thing. Flattuss and I have been talking about this for 2 weeks now, or at least the first one. So I think it broke on YouTube. Somebody posted up a video, and they had done a little bit of investigation about two huge Counter-Strike Ghost operatives, right? CS:GO, huge streamers that were using a gambling website to basically gamble weapon skins. That's what you do with these websites, right? Have you ever done it, Flattuss? Do you even play Counter-Strike?
I do play Counter-Strike. I've never done it. It's because the Counter-Strike skins. Like, all right, so when you're playing Counter-Strike, you play and then it drops crates, and you can buy keys and unlock the crates, and then sometimes in the crates you get skins, and the skins have a value, and you sell them on the Steam store for money, and then that goes into your Steam account. You can use games. Well, some geniuses decided that they would use that as a betting source, because it's easy. You could, and Steam has an API that you could tap into, and you could put up these skins for bets, and that's what T Martin and can't remember the other guy's name, but a few, like two other people, one big time Twitch streamer and two YouTube guys who were making solid, probably couple $100K to over $1 million a year. That was their intake. Like, they needed more money. And they also owned the gambling website.
Funny that,
right?
So I took a year of paralegal training, right? And one of the classes that I took as part of my paralegal training is basically an ethics class. Like, how do you consider things in an ethical matter, and what are your different ethical problems that you may run into? And of course, if you're doing anything with the legal profession, right, a conflict of interest is one of those ones that gets thrown out a lot, right? And one of the things that was like mind breaking to me back at the time was that even the appearance of a conflict of interest is in itself a violation of the conflict of interest ethics, because it erodes the confidence in that in whatever you're trying to deal with. And that's like, how could you not look at a gambling website that you owned and not see that as a huge conflict of interest? Like,
Right?
My favorite was watching their apology videos on YouTube. It's and like they were trying to explain it in such a way, like to their and like some fans are just like, there's no way to sugarcoat this, but you're dumb if you believed anything they said. I'm sorry, but I don't think that if you hear a guy saying like it's funny because it's fine because like this is me and this is this company and like the company promoted me and then like I like went back to the like it's a thing, it's no, it doesn't. I was like, no, it's fraud and it's illegal, and you had not only ownership but you also could easily fix the matches from your position, even though you say you can't, or was rules against it. Like, you clearly, like, everything you did was to profit. Like, fuck you. I'm sorry, but like, like, even us, like, we're content creators. This is what, we are content. We do this completely free. Like, we don't make money off this. We just do this as a passion. But if there ever came a time or anything like that, I'm not saying it ever will, but if it ever came a time, like, we know between all four of us, and if someone disagrees, please let me know. But one, legally, we have to be upfront with you if we're ever sponsored, and two, we would be upfront with you regardless. Like, we would. That's the first thing you're our audience. We would tell you, like.
And that's why I tell people, if I'm talking about a game on this podcast, I have never signed an NDA for that game. That's one of the things that I hold key to this position that I'm in behind the screen, right? I do this little podcast right here, but if they ever want me to sign an agreement that I won't talk about it, then I will never talk about that game at all. That's like, I either talk about it fully and openly and everything going on, or I don't talk about it at all. And I think, like, the only thing that, I mean, like, wow.
But by the way, that doesn't include like beta and alpha NDAs. Those just come with like, if we were actually given a game to. Oh no, those two.
That's why I didn't play Landmark the first week.
Oh well, yeah.
The
Well,
first
no. Yeah. Oh, that I understand.
Because I didn't want that NDA influencing me at all. I wanted to be like, I am just another gamer talking about a game that I play. So beyond that, Flattuss and I had talked about how there are fantasy football gambling websites, right? You know, daily leagues and stuff like that. And attorney generals for several states put those in no uncertain terms. They went after those websites and said, yeah, DraftKings and I forget the other one, but anyway, they put it out there that if you had a internet based gambling website and it violated their laws, they were coming after you because there's too much money for it not to be regulated, and for anybody running a website that had gambling on it at all to not like really like, oh hey, this is gambling is a tightly regulated industry, maybe we should hire a lawyer to help us figure out the legal, you know, method of going about doing this. The fact that they didn't do it, like how far did your head have to be in the sand to like ignore all of the warnings out there?
I don't know. Like,
This, by the way, this is my do better for the week. I know we normally do it at the end of the show, but I'm throwing it up at the beginning of the week because, oh my God, if you're making six-figure income off of a regulated industry, you might want to know what those regulations are.
I don't know. Like, I just can't. I can't fathom that you would lie to your audience who trust you. They come to you. They watch your content. And they support you. Like a lot of these people, like you may have still like I wonder if T Morton still has a Patreon. Maybe he has a Patreon page, and people are handing him money. How many people that like have a good example is that I've always been saying that people on Twitch, top streamers have always had have never disclosed that they've been paid to play, maybe like the really upfront ones, but like majority of them I've never been on. Like if I go and watch them playing an upcoming MMO or game that's coming out, I've never I'm like, how did you get access to like Overwatch super early? Like how did you get that? And clearly you're getting access from Blizzard, so don't give me bullshit. Like at least like Jesse Cox, like Jesse Cox is up front. He knows he even says I have a business agreement with Blizzard. You know, they know that. Like he's upfront about it. Same for Krendor. Krendor's upfront about it. Those are people that are upfront about it. But if you're a top streamer or top YouTuber and you're just like, oh, like you're getting Overwatch views because Blizzard knows that you're going to get views. But at the same time, that's an agreement, and you have to be upfront about that. Like they may be giving you access, but at the same time, if you have a contract agreement with them and you're working with Blizzard, you should be upfront about that. Like it's go ahead.
I don't think it's necessarily just streamers though, because I remember when Conan played. He's played a couple of video games on his show, and one of them was Warlords of Draenor, Warcraft. He played it, and they filmed him playing it, and then they put it up on his show. And I'm like, wait, that like now that I know, you know, a little bit more about like disclosures and stuff like that, did he get paid by Blizzard to do that? Has he been paid by other video game companies to put their video games, you know, like when Marshawn Lynch and Ron Gronkowski played what was it? Yeah, the Gronk, they played Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Mortal Kombat. Did the company that made Mortal Kombat pay to have them to
yeah.
did they pay to have that segment filmed? Because it makes sense for them to do it.
It's free sponsorship.
No one, right, and that no one would bat an eye if a company spent money on marketing. We don't no. Like, do we care? We understand that that's part of what makes the world go round. You got to get your game out there. You got to get whatever you're doing marketed out there in the world. So if you have to pay, like, hey, this is a sponsorship opportunity, I don't think anybody really bats an eye at it. What we bat an eye at is when you kind of like, no, I like the game.
Here's a good example. There were Mr. Happy, who's a prominently Final Fantasy 14 streamer. He was upfront when Blade and Soul came out. He was from the very beginning. He was upfront about streaming and the YouTube videos he made of Blade and Soul. And they said like, these are sponsored videos. These are sponsored streams. and because I'm getting paid to do it. Like, and he was upfront about it. But there was other streamers that I'm like, this game's not even out yet, and they're like, man, this game is sure is fun. Hey guys, there's a link in my description that you can go and blah blah blah. Put the code in and you'll get like so much % off. I'm like, really, like who you're feeding this into your fucking viewers? And they're doing it. Like they're like, yeah, no problem, man. I'm gonna go buy that pack. And I'm like, yeah, you're buying that pack, but he's not telling you that he's getting paid to play this game. Like that's like he should is like, hey, listen, this is sponsored. That's all you have to say. And it could be maybe like, and what's even worse is that sometimes they have it like on their screen with bajillion things like face cam and like something like written tiny in the corner, like this is a sponsor. Like you can't see it. Like sometimes they even do that. Like I legally said I did it. It's just in the corner so small that you can't see it. So there's that too.
Right. Lucy, Caeleste, do you want to jump in on this?
I'm waiting to talk about Pokemon and things.
All right, yeah.
I would just say that honesty is always the best policy.
Absolutely.
Like, just be honest. Like, if that's your honest opinion, if you have bias and you know you have bias, just tell people.
Speaking of, often on the show, I hold back on a lot of my negativity, and that isn't because I'm sponsored or because I care necessarily what the company thinks. The reason I do it is actually because I think that negative streams aren't as entertaining. I don't think it's entertaining for you to listen to me rant about what I don't like, so that's why I avoid doing it, in case you're curious.
I don't know. Sometimes a good rant's a great watch.
A good rant every once in a while, perfectly fine and acceptable, but just like
Just
every single episode, and I could, trust me, I could,
welcome,
but I don't.
Welcome to Loot Table episode 47, where we just shit on this fucking series.
All right, so moving on to the next topic, and this is another bit of like a little bit of legal patch notes in the video game industry. Hackers are currently being sued by the makers of Paragon and Blizzard for cheats that they've produced. Fuck yeah, nail their asses to the wall.
Should
look at every legal avenue you have. I mean, at first I was like, never, but as time has gone on, I'm like, wait a minute. They are sacrificing the fun of others so that they can have fun, more fun. And that's just like, that's a crappy attitude. Like if you want to play a solo play and load up cheats and stuff, go knock yourself out, but don't come into a public space and cheat your way out of, ruining somebody else's day.
Not only that, but accumulating fake internet points that mean nothing except to your own ego by cheating to get them.
True
Yeah.
that.
You dropped something.
I mean,
Oops.
I'm not for the hacking, but at the same time, I think even though we didn't even put it down. Can I fit it in since it is technically Blizzard and hacking and like Blizzard was mentioned that the Blizzard's launch this past week in Overwatch competitive mode in Overwatch launched this week.
Yeah, it launched.
We didn't. Well, we got. Listen, we got a lot of things.
Yeah,
it's linking. It's all like. Listen, we'll talk more about. But it's got some gripes. It's got some bad things going on. It ain't great.
Well, why don't we jump into that Overwatch then? Because it was pretty exciting news when I first heard it. Because it means I was wrong. I was wrong. The rumor is, the likelihood is high that Blizzard will be announcing a new Overwatch hero at San Diego Comic-Con next month. Or is it later this month, or is it next month?
Looks like it should be this month. So we know two things so far: that it is a new character, and that is a sniping healing class. That's the only things we know. So, because they teased out a picture of a gun that healed based on the two characters. Torbjorn built the gun, and Mercy said this is not how healing technology should be used.
Like Mercy had to be involved.
Oh, I wonder if it's like a life tap. That would be cool.
It'd be interesting. I would like the idea of a ranged healer, like from back, like from afar, that shoots like healing darts at people. That would, like that'd be kind of fun. I dig that. Would be fun.
I shoot you with my left bullets.
Yeah. Pew pew from afar. Pew pew heals.
All right, so anything else for Overwatch before we go into the
No.
No, because I mean, can I talk about competitive play for like 1 second since it did launch?
By all means.
Just real quick. I have 2 issues, and it's in their news since it's launched. One, it's a cluster. Competitive play is a cluster. It was not done well. Like, and I know this is season 1, and hopefully they'll fix it by season 2. But they're like Blizzard needs to do 2 things. One, if you have a casual mode game, cool. Don't try to fit competitive play into it if you can't do it right. I'd rather them waited till August to put out competitive mode and have it work correctly than it come out and not work. Like, I don't get why matches have to be an hour long. Like, like you're sitting in a match for an hour long, and if someone drops out of your team, like you get affected. Like, you don't get many points, or you can lose. Like, you're stuck. You're just stuck. It sucks. There's a lot going wrong, and the hitboxes aren't right. It's
competitive mode would just be like ranked play, right? Where you just like, this is my team and I go up against your team. But no.
You'd think that's what I mean. You can absolutely do that, but it's not like it looks like they took just like the competitive play and they took like the casual play and made it competitive, and that's not great. But because all they did was make the matches super longer. Like, I'd rather it be like the 20-minute matches and be like super fun and quick and like get through. But what? NBA 2K17. Can we talk about NBA 17?
Do you want my honest opinion? Is that the NBA has been dead to me since they took the Sonics out of Seattle.
They're
dead.
Oh, it's about sports ball. Okay, I had no idea what the hell that was talking about. I was like,
that is the NBA 2017 video game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a video game.
I know that Little B dropped the curse on Kevin Durant since he signed up with the Golden State Warriors. So
no.
Thank you, base god.
The curse is broken because the Seattle Sonics drafted Kevin Durant, and the year before they moved to Oklahoma City. So now that Kevin Durant has left, he's free to win championships. He just could not win a championship in Oklahoma City.
Okay, so hold on. Could we not talk about that? We're 30 minutes in and we haven't even talked about the damn Sims, much less Pokemon Go. Shut the hell up and next topic, please.
All right, so as or did you, Flattuss, was that it for Overwatch competitive mode? It's just a cluster. It's a because
it is a cluster. Yeah, it's not super great. I mean, I got it. It is. It's unfortunate.
Are you drinking out of Lich King? You're totally drinking out of the Lich King.
Yeah, I'm drinking my hopes and dreams.
All right, so the mobile internet game that is taking the Twitter and Facebook by storm. I haven't looked elsewhere, but my entire Twitter feed and my entire Facebook feed is nothing but Pokemon Go. What the hell? How did this happen? No, seriously. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, again, I'm the oldest guy on the show, or the oldest person on the show, and so the Pokemon just kind of like, I understand it, but I don't really get it. And there are other mobile games, but Pokemon is just like, whoa, oh my god, everybody's playing it.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta. I'm actively trying to catch that drowsy that appeared on my screen. And just so you guys know, I did catch it just now. So doing well. Doing well.
I'm playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I don't know about the rest of you people.
I would just like to say that I live in the middle of the Mojave Desert and there's not a single fucking Pokemon here. And it makes me a sad panda.
Not even a damn Sandshrew. That's damn shit.
I even went walking around the block earlier today, and there wasn't any. And then I had deleted Ingress off my phone, and after I went for my walk, I reloaded it back. The same Ingress portal is still like 2 blocks away from my house. It's still there, so I don't know. But and the reason why I bring up Ingress and Pokemon Go up together at the same time is because they're both manufactured or developed by the same company, and a lot of the backbone that they use to develop Ingress is obviously the backbone that they use to make Pokemon Go. It's basically a GPS tracking augmented reality game. Pokemon does a few things differently, and one of them is using the camera so that you can go looking around for the specific Pokemon. Ingress doesn't use your camera at all. It's just if you're close enough to the location of a quote-unquote portal, you can hack into it. So the fact that they would have a location in Ingress but not in Pokemon, it kind of bothers me a little bit.
Well, they're rolling out more stuff for people in more rural areas soon. I want to say that I did see a teaser trailer for Pokemon Go months and months and months ago. And I saw it and I was like, that is so cool. And the trailer was a bunch of people gathered around in like the different like major like city like New York City, Times Square, like that's, and just crowds of people. And then like all of a sudden this like gigantic like Mewtwo would show up and everybody would like throw their tiny little Pokemon and battle it together and like try to take it down. And like there were these big like world events for people to all participate in at the same time. And I was like, that would be so cool if they pulled it off. And I know that they're going to be adding more functionality for the gyms and the Pokestops and things like that soon. Which, if you guys don't know, they take random monuments, locations, shops, things like that in the real world, and they turn them into Pokestops and Pokemon gyms in the game. And so you have to go to these real world locations to interact with these.
Speaking of gyms, the White House North fountain was taken over by a Pokemon, and the guy who named his Pokemon that took it over named it America.
Yeah, Boricua 89 with the Pokemon America.
And I think before that there was a Pokemon named Thanks Obama. Like I'm pretty sure there was a Pokemon named Thanks Obama.
Which is funny because so the game launched on like Thursday or Friday of last week, and I work at a government agency, NASA.
Oh,
And
NASA.
But NASA, everybody shuts down and goes home for the weekend, right? Because we don't normally do flight operations on the weekends. So I'm gonna go in tomorrow morning into work and see where the Pokestops are and who has them and what they've named them. It should be interesting to see.
You don't name the Pokestops.
I mean, the Pokemon that.
Oh, the Pokemon themselves. I see what you mean.
So can we? Besides, like the Pokemon, I mean, let's see so far. A young teen has discovered a dead body playing Pokemon Go. There have been multiple car accidents playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, don't throw Pokemon and drive. Don't do it. It's worse than texting. Don't.
There's one that's showing like a huge freaking pileup on the freeway, and by the way, that's already been proven fake. That accident happened over a year ago, and it was not Pokemon involved.
But people did tweet at a Pokemon Go person, be like, I'm doing this and driving, and the official people responded, don't do that. That's not funny. You're gonna get hurt or kill someone. Don't do it.
Somebody wandered into a police station and a firehouse really wandering in there.
Sir, I thought I saw Pikachu. No?
So authorities have been telling people, please do not go inside police stations and firehouses trying to catch Pokemon.
Well,
Did you
I
see
have
the guy whose house is a gym?
no.
That's great.
This guy bought an old, like a church from the 1800s that had been remodeled into a house, and it got labeled as a gym. And people will just like stand around outside, like battling for the gym, and it's like really creepy. He says because they'll come around like at like 11:20 at night, and the like cars will like slowly creep by or like stop outside his house.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things. Some of my friends up in Seattle live by a pier, and evidently the pier is a gym, but the pier is closed for construction, which means it's not safe to go walking on. Please don't fall into the ocean.
I saw another thing where two girls tweeted where they had to kayak out into this like place to take a fountain that was a gym. They're like, yeah, Team Mystic. And I'm like, get it done, girls. Get it done.
Right, so one of the other things I had, right, the thought we were talking about how Caeleste and I live out in the middle of the desert, and so we don't see a lot of Pokemon. But one of the things that you can do to attract more Pokemon to show up is to buy and light incense, right, and that attracts the creatures that come nearby, so that you can catch them, right. I was thinking if you had a cafe or like a geek cafe, internet cafe, and you served beverages and maybe some treats and stuff like that, and you wanted to attract people to your business, I would be freaking. We were talking earlier about buy-in marketing, right? I'd be like, okay, in the budget, we need to be buying some incense and putting it out. There always needs to be Pokemon to catch here.
Incense is actually personal only. The lure modules are for the Pokestops.
Oh, damn.
Let me push up my nerd glasses.
They must have thought about that beforehand. But still, I think it's a good idea, right? Like, get your Pokemon here.
Yeah, seriously. I actually work at a Pokestop. I work at a Pokestop, and I have actually seen a lot more traffic in the last couple of days than I have previously. And I just want to absolutely 100% tell Nintendo and Niantic, good job. Because I have met more people and had more geeky conversations, and I have seen more people outside walking, doing things, enjoying like art that's around the town than I have ever seen in my entire life, like anywhere at all. Like people in parks looking at the things that are labeled as gyms and Pokestops. It's ridiculous. They did such a good job. Such a good job. I've seen couples going for walks. I saw one thread on Reddit, I think, where this girl and this guy like met at a Pokestop, and like they were like luring like water Pokemon, and they like it turned into a date. Like, and this girl was like, I have severe anxiety, like I don't leave the house and I don't talk to people, I don't go outside my circle. And this like opened up a new opportunity for her, not just to be social, but actually to have like a romantic interaction with like a pleasant human being. And it's like the opposite of Tinder, and this is amazing, and thank you so much.
Oh my god, Poke Love. Is there like a Cupid type Pokemon?
Yeah, because I don't know any of them. I know Pikachu.
Not really. I mean, they have two fairy Pokemon. Well, two base fairy. They have Jigglypuff, which will sing you to sleep. And then Clefairy, but I don't think they have like a Cupid type Pokemon.
Huh. Isn't there? There was a Flattuss. You remember a couple of months back, you and I were talking on the show about a Pokemon, and I was like, "This is my Pokemon, my favorite." I forget what it was. Does the conversation sound familiar to you though?
Man, I talk about Pokemon a lot. You'd be surprised how much if I talk about Pokemon. I don't know. There's the which one? The keys, like the ice cream shaped Pokemon now they got, or there's one there's a new bug type Pokemon, the new one Sun and Moon, that looks like a lunchbox.
Is there one that vibrates? I got the triple face palm. Woo!
I don't even know anymore.
Ask a couple of girls that play regularly; they might know.
My whole phone vibrates when I
Mom, I
find
don't
any
even know.
Pokemon. I mean, come on.
Does it really? How do you get that setting?
My
No,
favorite,
just does it.
my favorite Pokemon Go pictures are the guys that take Diglett and they like point down at their crotch, and I'm like, oh, you jerks.
Okay.
Go look at Diglett.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
So maybe we should move on to The Sims 4 because like we're 40 minutes in and we haven't even talked about the main topic yet.
But we've been having a good fun. All right.
We have been having good fun, but stay on target. I'm helping. I'm helping.
All right. Well, then do you want to introduce the main show talking point?
We're talking about The Sims 4, people. So
How
the main talking. Yes. So I know that we're talking about like the main talking point is create a sim, but like I think it's important to mention that there's like a base game and then there's the digital deluxe version of it. And then you can get the holiday celebration pack for free once you have either the regular or the digital deluxe. And there's 2 expansions, 3 game packs, and then 7 stuff packs. There are lots of things.
And there's another stuff pack coming out this month.
Oh, already? Didn't they just release the kid one?
They did, and I think what happened was they're releasing one that looks like summer, like outdoor fun type stuff. I think the kid one was ready before the summer fun one because the kid one went out before 4th of July, and you would have thought that they would have given you like the patio furniture and the cookout stuff before the 4th of July to have fun with. So there might have been like an issue with it.
But we have a camping one. Isn't that enough outdoor fun? No.
I don't
need
know.
all the packs.
Me too. I currently have all of them, and I will be buying the new one. Oh, just take. I'm just gonna throw money at my screen. Just take it. Just take it.
Yep. So create a sim is what you do when you first start your game. You get to create your sim, and I love it because there's so many different options. Like you can be female, but get another sim pregnant. You can be female and never be able to get pregnant. You can be female, but more masculine. You can be male, but more feminine. You can be male and get other men pregnant. Male and get girls pregnant. Male and not get anybody pregnant.
Wasn't there a movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, wasn't he in a movie like that once?
I don't know.
Yes, it's not twins. It's the other one with Danny DeVito.
He's having a baby.
That's not it.
Anyways, so yeah, gender preferences and I'm gonna let Lucy talk a little bit more about this because like she filled in quite a bit about it and I don't want to steal like her thunder, but oh my god, you can totally have a sim that's like a young adult, well really any age, and have gray hair, like silver hair. It's so freaking awesome. You can have pink hair, you can have purple hair, you can have green hair, you can have aqua hair. They can have all the hairs that I want that I just don't have.
The name of the movie was Junior.
I was gonna say it's Junior.
So there's tons of options. I mean, obviously you can do the normal stuff like first name, last name, pick your age, pick your like I said, pick your like your it's kind of like picking your sex and picking your gender as well. Like they've kind of, but it's less political than that. It's just options opened up so that you can make whatever kind of sim you want. Hairstyles, accessories, tattoos, just all kinds of crazy stuff you can do. You can new things in The Sims 4. You can pick your walk style, so you can have like a super like feminine like flirty walk, or you can have like a goofy walk or a tough walk, or it just kind of like lets your sim stand out.
Don't forget the snooty walk. Like their noses are literally so far up in the air that if it were capable of raining, they'd drown.
Yeah, I love just letting it run a couple times because every once in a while they go while they walk. I'm like, what are you? What is this?
That's odd.
Yeah, they just make like this sort of like stuck up sort of noise, and it's ridiculous. Like, who walks like that? But still, it helps your sim stand out in a
I've known
crowd. So.
girls.
What's up?
Or not.
I said I have known girls that walked like that and made the noise.
So yeah, so you can it used to be that the voices and the types of walks they were locked to male or female sims, but now they're unlocked for everybody. So that's kind of cool. Like you can make a girl with like some serious swagger now and like a deeper voice, and you can make a guy with like a super like cute femme walk and like a lighter voice. It's just really cool that they opened up all these options. You can turn off the male or female preferences on your clothing style, so you can wear like anything for any outfit. And I actually made some really cute outfits for both genders that don't like look like you're wearing like different gender clothing. So it's basically it's not political so much, it's just more options.
Like, I totally own a lot of pairs of sneakers that happen to be men's sneakers just because I like the look of them better most of the time than girl sneakers. And excuse me, but why do they charge more for girl sneakers than they do for boy sneakers? It's the dumbest shit ever. And it used to be really hard to find cute sneakers with skulls on them.
Used to.
That's true. I think most of my t-shirts are male, like technically male t-shirts, because I just don't like female t-shirts. They like get up in your armpits and stuff. So anyway, so yeah, it's unlocked all kinds of. Let's get back on topic. Unlocked all kind of like clothing for. I saw the look from Tannlin. I was like, I need to get back on topic.
Flattuss had the same look. Really? I didn't know that about our t-shirts.
I just wear them.
Well, try a female t-shirt sometime. They get right up in your armpits.
I would like to wear a female t-shirt. It's next on my priority list after.
I will send you one.
All right, sweet. Let's get it going.
So yeah, they've unlocked a lot of stuff. You can make basically any sim that you can think of, really. I was kind of bummed that they unlocked like the patterns, that they didn't have the patterns from Sims 3 where you can like pick a swatch of like a zig like plaid or whatever and then fill in the colors that you want and stuff like that. But it lagged my computer really hard to do that, and I don't think that it added all that much to the game now that I have a game that's really customized without it. So I'm really happy with the Create a Sim. Yeah, really, really happy with the Create a Sim. You can also obviously tweak family dynamics and play with the DNA as well. So you can like take two Sims and make their child. Actually, you don't even need two Sims. You can just use one Sim and make their child. And
Is that Pokemon in your house, in your apartment?
did you guys hear that buzzing?
I did.
I'm not looking at the phone, so I can neither confirm nor deny whether or not the Pokemon Go app is still open, and there may or may not be Pokemon available to catch. However, yeah, it's a Nidoran.
Do you need it?
Yeah, so
You
you can make kids and stuff like that.
Right, and you were talking about making Sims, right? And so one of the things that I found most interesting about the game is that not only do you create your sim that you're actually playing, but you actually can create the neighborhood, like different people around, including I mean, can you force them into relationships, or do you have to kind of let them happen organically? How does that?
Kinda.
If you create characters within the same family, you can set up like husband, wife, daughter, son, that kind of stuff. You can't set up boyfriend, girlfriend though, which is kind of annoying. So you can't set up a romance that's not. Oh, that's a Clefairy. You can't set up a romance that's not married. Like, so that's kind of annoying. And also, if you make 2 Sims and then make children from those Sims and then put them in a house together, they don't have any romantic relationship even though they have kids together, which is really annoying because I accidentally did that once. I didn't make the mom and the dad married, so they like wouldn't sleep in the same bed, and I was just basically face palming the entire time. And the husband was like really grumpy and like ornery all the time, so I couldn't get a romance started. Like every time she went to like flirt with him, he's like, I'm in a shitty mood. She's like, okay. And then she'd like walk away with like the double negatives next to her head. I'm like, this is not gonna happen.
That's when you go full cast edit mode. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I ended up having to just redo the family and start over because I was like, this is too much work.
Or drown them. I drown them if they piss me off. God, do I love drowning them. If they piss me off enough, they're dead.
Hi, I love you.
My Sims, honey.
I just make a basement troll. I don't know what you people are doing.
You can do that now. You can make basement. Oh, nice Ekans. I don't have an Ekans.
It was on my fireplace.
I can spell backwards as snake.
My husband just gave me a look.
Don't catch Pokemon while you're doing your podcast.
Yeah, basement troll. Basement troll is great. You just make you put a thing in the. You take away the stairs. You create a little troll. Like you make a troll. It's green. Make it ugly. Put it in and make it really good at art, and then have it sell to art for a lot of money. You just live in the basement, and have a house above, and then supply the family above with money, and then you have a that lives its existence and its pitiful life just downstairs, constantly painting its emotions on canvases, and you're selling art and supporting a happy family above, and it never knows its existence beyond the 4 walls in the basement. That sounds
That's why I cheat and give them all the monies, so I don't have to abuse the basement troll.
nah.
Since
I'm always really nice to my Sims. Like, they all have happy lives and their wishes are fulfilled.
All 15 fucking refrigerators and no bathroom until I'm like, eat yourself to death. Just watching.
Except for one family. One family I messed up really bad, but I had to download mods in order to do it. It was disgusting. Yeah, it was horrible. Let's not talk about it.
It ended with them going, the aristocrats.
So we can go from rather than going into the build mode, let's talk a little bit more about the story mode. Because this is all of these different things that we were doing is basically this mode of playing The Sims, right? Where you're basically living out the fictional fantasy life of the sim that you've created, this simulated virtual person.
Yep, making grilled cheese sandwiches and making sure you don't piss yourself, basically.
I do that every day.
The game.
Do I get points for doing that? Because
you do.
Yeah.
So it's basically like, I mean, story mode is story mode. It's everything that we've come to love and know and enjoy out of the Sims franchise. You pick a person, you go through life, you either fulfill those wants and hopes and dreams or you don't, and you get to choose how their story plays out, and they live and they die if you want them to die, or you can turn that off and just play them forever. It's so totally up to you. But it's The Sims, basically. Like you play a fantasy life.
So one of the questions.
Go ahead.
One of the questions I have about that, because I think it's actually kind of fascinating, but more about what I think about is how the AI in the game works out. Because as we've talked about, like in other shows, AI is a huge thing for what we look for in games, right? Like, how natural does it feel? Caeleste, do you want to tell the story about the fight that your Sims got into? Or
Which one? I've had multiple at this point.
That couldn't get to the location in the fridge, and then in order for him to be a more accommodating partner, you had to delete the perfectionism.
Oh my god. Okay, so he might kill me, but like I tried to build a sim that had his personality. And I tried to build a sim that had my personality, and I thought I had done pretty good. And so they're just like, you know, they're on the woohooing part of their relationship, right? They woohoo, but they're not like dating. So if you ask if they're single, they say they're single, but they're still like fucking.
They're FWBs. I get it.
So like, she goes over to his house. They woohoo. They go to sleep. She wakes up in the morning. He's still asleep. Totally accurate, by the way. She gets out of bed and makes him breakfast. He gets up while she's cooking, and he is so pissed that he can't get into the kitchen that he chews her out to where she's sobbing with the double negatives and kicks her out of the house, and then subsequently locks the door. And when I tried to go back in the house, it said I wasn't welcome. I went into full edit cast mode and deleted a couple of things and redid them, so he wasn't such a dick.
I love that particular.
Wow.
I love that particular story because it demonstrates the AI of the game. That when that character had that particular trait, it was part. He acted on it, even though he's a dick. But at the same time, it was like he was kind of programmed to be a dick, right? Isn't that what we did?
I'm not bad. I'm just
drawn that way. And it's really funny because like I had zero control over his character because they weren't living together, and I had gone on my female character. So whatever that character was doing was strictly based on its AI. I didn't do any of that. So
That's amazing.
For future reference, if you're a Renaissance sim with the geek trait, perfectionist, and clean, you're an asshole.
Did he eat the breakfast still?
I bet he did.
He kicked her out before she got to finish and then scrubbed the kitchen. His problem was that the kitchen was dirty because she was cooking.
Well, if you're banging a guy, you're not dating, and you go into his kitchen. Where am I? Why didn't any of you stop me?
Because I wanted to hear where that was going.
I don't know, nesting.
I can't imagine in real life any guy waking up after sex, seeing his partner making breakfast, and being like, I can't believe that there's egg on this counter. Get the fuck out. Don't you come back.
Oh no, I have friends that have asked women like, "Why are you still here?"
I was thinking that there's a couple of times.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
I have things to do, and my
I
kitchen
make
is now
sure-
dirty.
No. I make sure that it's good enough that they don't have to ask me to leave in the morning.
You have bad friends.
Well,
I'm not arguing that either.
yeah.
I wonder if he's been one of the people that have been like, why are you still here in the morning?
To me,
Yeah, you. He has to
Nah.
think about it.
They can leave at night.
I was gonna say, like, if I get that vibe, I just don't stick around till morning.
Yeah, you'll find me at the IHOP. No, I'm an
The story
excuse.
AI is
I'm an
very
excuse
good.
of Pokemon Go. Hold on, babe. There's a Venonat outside.
Build mode.
The roofing really needs to get better. Like, I know, it's a huge improvement over what it used to be, But building a roof. What? But building a roof on on a house in The Sims is still a fucking bitch. It's always been one. It's going to continue being one. Sure, it's gotten better. It's gotten a little bit easier. It's gotten a little bit cleaner. It's gotten a little bit faster. But for the love of God, could you make it a little bit easier? Please.
See, I feel like one of the iterations of Sims, I think it was 2 or 3, had an automatic roofing tool that just
Yes.
did a roof for you, but I'm not sure if you could make as many cool shapes as you can in The Sims 4.
No, you couldn't.
So it might be too difficult to try to do an automatic roofing tool. I can see you still laughing.
Can't help it.
What happened? Why are they laughing?
I'm just saying that if somebody left me for a Venonat, I would burn their house down. It's a Venonat, first of all.
Did I miss an exchange? I clearly missed some sort of exchange here.
There's a cocoon outside. I'll be right back. All they can do is harden.
Like, Lucy, I love you, but if I find a Pikachu, I'm gone.
Okay, Pikachu, I get it. Venonat? Burning your house down.
Okay.
Been chasing a Pikachu for 2 days.
You chasing that electric tail.
We just went straight to roofs.
So yeah, Sims 4 build a mode is much better. You can place whole just place whole rooms. You can pull them, you can push them, you can manipulate them in all different sorts of ways, and you can even and I love this feature, you can even pick up the entire house and move it on the lot.
Yes.
So helpful. There's been so many times where you start building a house and then you're like, oh, well, I wish I could move this like 3 squares back so I could actually do what I want to do with this house now. And you'd have to like, in like even The Sims 3, you'd have to
rebuild.
Destroy and rebuild. So this is really cool. You can also save rooms so that if that ever happens, you can literally just save it room by room and then start over again and piece things together. And of course, all of these things can be put up on the gallery: Sims, families, rooms, houses, community lots. All this stuff can be shared. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is make houses and share them.
I get your houses all the time.
But one of the things that The Sims doesn't do well when it comes to building is any sort of circular shapes, right?
Yeah, they can do octagons, but circles not so much.
There are no circles.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't miss them all that much. Like, every once in a while I've been like, oh, I wish I could have like a Victorian house with like a tower, and that would be really cool. But you could make an octagon and try to get like the same sort of like visual rather than like the full idea. Like, I can see some people being really put off by not being able to make circular shapes, but for me, I'm just like, well, I'm not that good at art, so I'll just make something that looks close and be happy with it. It's the same for me in Landmark. Like, I wasn't like a visual artist, so when I go to make something, I'm like, well, this is close. It looks kind of good, even though it wasn't exactly what was in my head. But I know some people who are good at making visual art. If they can't make it exactly like they see it in their head, they get frustrated and they don't even want to play with it.
Yeah, for me, it's a close. The approximation just has to be close, and then it has to be easy enough to use. My problem with Landmark was that it never got as easy as I'd like it to be to build. And then I started building in Minecraft, which is super easy to build because it's one block at a time. But then it doesn't have the it doesn't look that close enough approximation of what I want to build isn't there because you're building with giant blocks. Though, I mean, How about the textures though? Are there enough variety to really get a unique look?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the textures are really good. There are some things that I wish that they would add, like some more like regular stone and things like that. And there are some things that I wish had like tops or bottoms too, or pieces. Like for example, some brickwork has corner pieces, but they don't work with all corners. Like sometimes if you have like an inverted corner, it won't work. Or if you've got a corner that has a porch coming off of it, it won't work correctly. And there have been some times where like you have textures that just
Pokemon.
don't have a matching piece to go on the top. Like you can have a one-story house and it will look fine-ish, but you might not be able to do the roof in the same texture because the bottom part has this, like for example, there's some that has masonry on the bottom and siding, but then you don't have siding that matches that part, so you can't fill in the top of the roof with the same siding that matches. So there are like slight irritations, but every time that they release more stuff packs, they usually give you more textures and more objects and things like that to work with. So
Speaking of stuff packs, how regularly do they come out? I know that for Flattuss and I, like the whole like content, like how often are they adding new content to the game is one of our key things that we're always talking about. Is it like several times a year?
so
Yeah.
so the game is coming up on 2 years old. I think it's been out for 2 years because it had been out for a year when I got it last December, I believe. And there are, Kai, what did you say? 2 expansion packs.
There's 2 expansion packs.
3 game packs, 7 stuff packs.
Yep.
So that's 12. So yeah, so 2 years, 12 additions to the game with one coming out soon. So that's pretty frequent that you get new stuff. I think they give.
September
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
September 2014 is when it was released.
So yeah, fast approaching 2 years. I think that they normally give you a pretty good amount of time to play around with the new stuff before they release another one. They do have 2 stuff packs this summer that have been released back to back fairly quickly, but I think that's also because it's summertime and people tend to have more, like first of all, kids are off school, so they have more time to play, and people take vacations, so they might have more time to play too. So that might be why they're doing it. Of course, I'm not a marketing expert, so I don't really know, but I would think that it's because people have more downtime in the summer. And that's also like it could be like a gripe for some people. Like I've seen some people be like, well, they release too much stuff and it costs too much money to buy all of these things.
Do you feel like you have to have all of the stuff to play the game?
If you like downloading from the gallery, then yes. It's really frustrating to see something that you like a creation that you absolutely love and not be able to download it and have it in its entirety because they use some things from a stuff pack that you don't have.
That makes sense. That was one of the things about like the claim wipes and landmark, right? When you didn't have the prop tools and you went to paste something that you had.
Yeah. But I mean, you can still download. I'm pretty sure you can still download the family or the house, but it won't paste it in. It won't put it down with that texture or that prop, that item in the game. But again, it's a little frustrating, especially if that house uses primarily stuff from a stuff pack, like it's not Get to Work, it's the Get Together stuff pack has all of like the old European style textures and items, and as soon as I saw those houses, I was like, I have to have that pack. That is fantastic textures.
That's the one they added Windenburg, right?
Now, speaking of expansion packs, and we were talking about sponsorship at the beginning of the show, how many of these are sponsored stuff packs? I know that like The Sims 3 had the IKEA stuff pack.
None of them.
None of them.
Did it was The Sims 3 that had the IKEA stuff pack?
Yeah.
Oh, Sims 3 had sponsored stuff. Yeah, I think I got the collector's edition of The Sims 3 that came with like special cars that you could download that were sponsored by specific car companies and etc.
So do you think that they're coming, or do you think that The Sims 4 just isn't going to do this to us? You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, it's their franchise. They can do whatever they want, obviously, and it's The Sims, and we'll buy it. They're established enough that we won't care technically. But it doesn't seem like they're going that way. It seems like they're implementing fresh new ideas.
Okay.
Though I will say they do their own takes on popular things. Like for example, in the kids stuff pack or the kids room stuff that they just got released, you can collect and trade void critters and battle them on a special battle station. So very much.
And adults can't see them.
But can adults with the childish trait play with the void thing? Because you can use children's toys. Right? That's what I haven't tested this theory yet.
Must test theory.
Also, the kids room was
sick.
really cute. The kids,
They
the kids,
are.
they're so cute. They actually added like a ton of functionality to kids. I actually have to tell you this story that happened when I was playing through the kids room pack. So kids can now get frightened by monsters under their bed when they're sleeping. And they get up, they start screaming, and they run around, and they can either like try to talk to the monster under the bed, or if you are like my bossy little amazing girl sim, she started yelling at the monster under her bed to get them. It was amazing. She's the coolest sim. She's so cool. She's so tough. I love her. She started like pointing at underneath the bed and like yelling at the monster because it scared her. But the thing that happened was my boy sim, he had a nightmare, and there was a monster under his bed, and the parents were woohooing. What happens is if you have the AI turned on, the child can run in and wake the parents up, or get the parent to spray under like monster spray to make the monster under the bed go away, and the child won't go to sleep until they either like yell at it, talk to it, or they get the spray so that the monster is resolved. So the child definitely like walked in on his parents woohooing because he had a nightmare and he wanted them to come check under the bed for monsters.
Just like millions of children every year.
It was so good. It was so good. The AI is just so good for the kids. Like, if I let my kids just do whatever they want when they get home from school, they're like, I'm gonna go play Void Critter, and like they completely ignore their homework. They just don't do it. The parents are like, hey, do you want to do their homework? And they're like, Void Critters! And the puppet show theater is freaking adorable. It's so cute. One sim goes behind and has like these little puppets, and sometimes they like stick their hand up and it doesn't have a puppet on it, and then they get the embarrassed moodlet. It's the best. I love The Sims.
We're supposed to be talking about our gripes. So one of the questions that I had written down is, when I watched Caeleste play the game, she's got this whole little neighborhood created. Has there ever been any interest in doing like a shared game space where not like a massively multiplayer server space, but where you could play The Sims 4 with your friends and have your own virtual neighborhood together with them?
No, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of like a single player game. I feel like much like with any group project, somebody can take something in a different direction that you absolutely hate, and I don't know. I wouldn't want a multiplayer. I wouldn't want a multiplayer Sims verse.
I like that I can download a house that she's built, and I like that she's not offended that I change that house. I some of her Sims are super, super cute, but I can't deal with the personality that they come with. I'm sorry. So I'll like full on edit the Sim because like there's something about the personality that just doesn't mesh with my Sims personalities. And it's like, I want you to get along with her because you're really cute, but there's something about you that doesn't mesh with her. And now she's being mean to you and now you're being mean to her. Can't you get along?
I randomly roll my Sims personalities. I use like
Okay.
either a dice roller or like sided dice, and I randomly roll their aspirations and their traits just because I think it's more fun that way.
Okay.
Like one of my Sims that I have in my family now, she has the social butterfly aspiration, but her singular trait that she has as a child is mean. So she's literally a mean girl. She wants to have all these friends, but she ends up like yelling at them when she gets frustrated. And I just think it's amazing to have like these contradictory things that I would never pick for myself, for my Sims to have for themselves, because I want them all to have happy lives and to have their aspirations fulfilled and things like that. So I tend to pick things that make that happen. So like if I have an artist, they're creative and they're an art lover and like stuff like that. So it all works together, but it doesn't make a very well-rounded and interesting Sim. So I tend to just randomly roll their personalities so that I get like weird combinations. I don't do a lot of playing, just so you know. I make houses mainly.
Yeah, we're
One of the biggest gripes in the community that isn't technically my gripe is that there aren't any toddlers. I should put that out there if we're talking about Sims 4. Like a lot of people have literally rage quit the game because they won't give them toddlers. I think toddler Sims are adorable and their animations are cute. Like in The Sims 3, I thought they were really cute, but they were basically a full-time job, which I mean, I'm sure toddlers actually are. But yeah, if you didn't have a stay-at-home Sim and you had a toddler, they didn't age up well because you had to get them to learn to talk, learn to walk, and learn to potty train before they age up, or else they're like not well-adjusted children. Go figure. If they're not potty trained by the time they're 8 or 9, apparently that's not a good life choice for a Sim. But it felt like too much work while I was playing the toddler. So it's not that I boycott the age category. I just didn't like their gameplay in The Sims 3. So I'm not surprised that they're not in The Sims 4, and I don't know why so many people are upset about it, but a lot of people are upset about it. So I have to mention that.
I don't play children and I'm a total home wrecker.
So this is going to be so toddler full-time job. Does it come with all of the toddler things that make watching a toddler a full-time job? Yeah, see, again, that's why it's not my type of game. Like,
yeah,
you don't have to have children. You don't have to play them.
Still, like the whole bathroom and feeding.
You literally have to sit. In The Sims 3, you had to sit the toddler on the potty and stand there while they went, so that you could. And they had like this little bar that as they were learning to be potty trained, and it's just. I don't know. The gameplay for me was interesting the first time I did it because I had a stay-at-home mom with twins and she was very busy. She was a very busy woman reading them books and teaching them how to walk and talk at the same time, and it was crazy. But I didn't like the gameplay and I didn't want to go through it more than once.
I can totally see that.
I don't even play children. I'm sorry. None of my families have children. They don't play children. None of them are married. I play a sim killing home wrecker. I'm sorry. Like all of the things that I would never do in real life, I do to my Sims. I drown them. I burn them in fire. Other people's husbands. I mean, really, it's the things that you wouldn't do in real life. I do them in the game.
And that's part of the reason why it's such a good game, because you can get out all of that, aggression and frustration, and wouldn't it be funny if I just ruined their lives right now, sort of tendencies, and not ruin real people's lives.
So it's like Desperate Housewives, the game. All we need to add
Lucy,
is
do you want me to throw something at him for that one?
No, I mean
Nailed
it could be Desperate Housewives the game. I've never watched the show, honestly, so I don't really know.
Neither
Neither.
am I.
Well, I only remember it in bits and pieces, but it was basically like, you know, a neighborhood that was all supposed to be perfect, but and then it was all these awful things that these different housewives did to one another because they're, I don't know.
So like real life.
No.
Exactly. I guess. But except you were just saying that you don't do those things.
I physically I feel bad when things go wrong in my Sims lives. I am so empathetic that I'm like, oh sweetie, you had a bad day at school. Oh, somebody pulled your hair at lunchtime. Like they literally can come home with these moodlets that like they drop their lunch tray and now they're embarrassed and they just want to go hide underneath their bed for the rest of the day and stuff like. It's adorable. But I feel
They really can go crawl into bed and cry it out. Like there is actually the option if you have a super shitty day to go hide under your covers and cry it out.
Can I have that option?
You do have that option.
You do have that
I
option,
don't have
yes.
that option.
Another thing that people are griping about is there's no pets, and I'm like, okay, but give it time. And also, how much did that add?
Pets were almost as much work as toddlers. 2, you have the cow plant. Shut the fuck up. That's a pet.
It's so cute, and it eats people.
It does eat people. It eats stupid Sims. I love it. Oh, you have cake? No, 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 no. Give me seasons. That's the only one that I'm really bummed about. Like, I don't care about the not having toddlers. I don't care about the pet. I mean, the pets part was kind of cute, but like, I was so tired of chasing dogs around my yard that were taking a dump. Like, I don't really need that back. I'm fine with that.
Right,
But
you had
like,
to put that sign that the pets would stay away from your house.
Yeah, because dogs can read apparently. But seriously, I would love, love, love to have seasons back. I miss the snow on the ground and like the rain. Like you could go outside and jump in the puddles. I miss that.
It was my favorite expansion for The Sims 3. I think even if they brought it, like even if they didn't bring back seasons but gave us different destination worlds that were like different seasons, I think that would be fun. Like if you're feeling in the Christmassy mood, you can make like a house in like a snowy town and like play that for, you know,
That
a month.
would be so awesome.
And like I said, some people gripe that there are too many things to buy. I don't mind it, but I can understand being like a teenager or like a kid without like a job and not having all of the things, not having all of the resources to buy all these things and feeling slightly left out. I mean, I was definitely in that boat, I think, when The Sims 1 came out. I don't think I was in a place where I had a full-time job at that point. So, like, I was like, cool, I can have the base game, and that's about it. But I don't know. I just, the stuff packs are only $10. Like, for grown adults, it's not that much money to blow on a hobby.
What do I have tied up in The Sims? Probably close to $200.
Is it really?
But compared to how much a subscription game would run you over the course of multiple
That's
years,
true.
and that's a fair, fine price. Especially when you're talking to
Oh, go ahead.
a sim pack might cost $10. If you were playing a subscription MMO, that would be like a month of the subscription.
Yeah. And there's like basically infinite replayability. There really is.
Yeah. So The Sims, the original The Sims game was released in February of 2000. The Sims 2 was September of 2004. The Sims 3 was June of 2009. And then The Sims 4 was September of 2014. The Sims 2 is when I started collecting. I don't even remember if I actually played the original Sims game, but I might have.
I remember I did, but I remember it because it glitched, and I stopped playing because I saved right before she went to work, and then she lost her job, and there was nothing I could do about it, and I was really sad about that.
I actually did because I'm looking at the expansion packs that it had, and I was like, oh, I had that one and that one and that one and these. So yes.
Yeah, the first Sims came out when I was active duty, so I didn't play it.
I was married and just before college at that point.
I think that the Sims have really gotten better as they've gotten like new iterations of it. And from The Sims 3 to The Sims 4, they added some really good things and they took out some things that I hated. In The Sims 3, I absolutely hated the memory photo album. Great in theory. It automatically takes a screenshot of like your momentous moments for your sim. But if you played a character who dated a bunch and, dare I say it, slept around, you basically had like your memory album was full of just the first or random times that you woohooed with all these different people. And I'm like, these really wouldn't be memories for her. Like,
Thanks for making me look like a sim slut.
Oh no, the sim I was playing totally was, but like I had to keep going through and like deleting all of the, like every single time you woohooed with another sim, it would take a picture. I'm like, come on now.
Am I the only, like, tell me that I'm not the only one that like always has at least one lesbian couple in the game? Do you do that too?
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter.
Awesome.
Like if a sim, if like I make a sim and they make a friend and they like super hit it off with this friend, I'm like, no kiss. It doesn't matter what the gender is. I don't care.
Yes! That's exactly what I do too. Oh, look, they're getting flirty on their own. Oh, that's so cute. Now kiss.
No kiss.
Is there a button that you press?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a kiss radial thing and just
Yes.
But so they took out the memory album, which I absolutely hated, and they added in this cool thing where you can get points for different whims of the moment. Like you have lifetime goals that you can achieve for points, and then those stay the same. And then they have whims of the moment, which you can lock in, but they have one whim that's dependent on their mood, and you can't lock it in. So you either have to do it while they're in the mood to do that, or it goes away. So I really like that they've added that dynamic gameplay.
Woohooing pops up a lot when you're flirty.
See,
better do it now before you don't want it anymore.
My Sims always get the option to get the whim to take a cold shower. I'm like, what? I'm like, but I
Yeah, if
wanted
you're
you to
super flirty, if you're super flirty and you take a cold shower, it brings you out of flirty.
Yeah, I like there's a lot of things that can create moods for your Sims too. Like if you take a thoughtful shower, you can come out of the shower feeling creative. You're like, I want to cook a meal, or oh, I got a really good idea for a book. I think it was hilarious that you can do that in the shower. Like, oh, I got a shower idea.
Shower thoughts.
Obviously, there's a depth to the game that I wasn't unfamiliar with before today.
Because you only look over my shoulder for like 30 seconds, then make fun of me for making my sim pee so it doesn't piss itself.
That's pretty funny that you have to do that.
Yeah,
actually,
if
I just
you don't have to.
No, but I play with the AI on, but I still control the sim despite it having AI. But if I know I'm getting ready to take that thing out, to like my sim is gonna go out for a while, like some Sims don't like going in public places because sometimes they're dirty. Like the public bathroom is dirty, so they won't use the public bathroom.
And that's where it gets to that level of realism where I'm like, come on, no.
Yeah, and sometimes when your sim accidentally walks into the bathroom when another sim's using it, they'll all have the embarrassed moodlets because they're like, oh god, I just saw my dad peeing, it's so weird. And they'll like avoid each other for a while.
They really do, it's true. Learn to lock the fucking door.
I had two bathrooms. I'm just saying, go pick the other one.
But you can actually lock the door in The Sims though. Like you can lock a door. So now, like, I put all the fun toys in my Sim's personal bedroom. That way, when she has parties, nobody comes into her bedroom. So, like, if she has a party, they can't come in and play on our computer. Not those fun toys. God, babe.
You set that up.
They should really add that. But then it wouldn't be as a family game. Like they do a good job of like sort of like glossing over the whole woohoo thing. There's just some love hearts. Oh, one of my favorite things about the game.
Fireworks.
Oh, the fireworks and also the moodlets. Have you seen the moodlets? They can be different. Like, so you put a couple in bed and they woohoo. And my favorite thing ever is when the guy wakes up and he's like, I'm in such a good mood because I had spectacular woohoo. And then the girl wakes up and she's like, nah, it was all right. And like her moodlet is like less than, and it can go the other way too. But I just find it like insanely funny that they can have different experiences.
If you're really, really, like, if you guys woohoo and then you have an argument and then you, like, have a falling out and your relationship, your romantic relationship goes down, you can actually criticize your lover for their woohoo techniques. Do you remember me sending you the screenshots of that? Because you're like, no, you can't do that. I was like, oh, yes, you can. And I had to screenshot it for her because you can criticize them for the way they woohoo.
I could just imagine like somebody be like, that only works in porn. Like just like saying that after you get in an argument, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter which gender, it doesn't matter. You take that right out. Like it doesn't even matter. It would just be I love adding my own dialogue to the sim.
I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that does that. I thought I was the only one.
What happened?
What is happening?
What happened? We.
Do you know what else
horrible
is
people, but only in The Sims.
What? is
Right?
What had just happened?
This is what happens when you guys agree to let us do an episode on The Sims.
Porn, and we add our own like words. You role play sex with your own Sims.
No. I'm just saying that I make up like what they're talking about. Like sometimes like I'll sit there and watch them at the breakfast table and they'll have like little icon like bubbles come over their head. It's like unicorn. I'm like, why are you talking about unicorns over your pancakes, you weird fuck? And then the other one's like aliens. I'm like, okay, well, they're into it. So go ahead. Just start that conversation. That's fine.
What's that joke about? Like Freudian slip is when somebody asks you how are the eggs or how's the orange juice, and you reply back, "Go fuck yourself, Dave," or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not exactly how it works.
No. It's a joke.
Okay, I was like, that's not a Freudian slip at all. I don't understand.
No, it's not.
It's sort of funny. I don't know. Anyway.
No, but I totally will like make up dialogues. Like two kids will be talking to each other and they're like puppies. And I'm like, oh my God, on my way home from school today, I saw a puppy and it was so cool and it was fluffy. And the other kid will be like, dinosaurs. And it'd be like, what if that puppy turned into a dinosaur? Wouldn't that be cool? And like I will do that while I'm playing The Sims, and I'll just make up what they're talking about. Especially when it doesn't match at all.
All right.
Just wait, no, stop. When they pop up with the bear, do you ever think I could really use a fat rabbit?
What the fuck does that mean?
You weren't there, but those two were, which is why they're laughing hysterically. It's become an inside joke.
With maybe some of that moss on it.
Yeah, like maybe if you could just like make like a rabbit, but like stuff some moss in his ears.
We were watching a show.
What is going on?
I promise I'll explain the fat rabbit and the moss to you later. I promise.
I don't know. No, because I don't know if I wanted to.
There's a TV show where they were getting like super fucked up, and Tannlin's comment was they were eating the moss, and I was like not really watching the show, so I had no idea. I was like, wait, were they really eating the moss? Like, did Lucy steal this from the show? No.
What? Is this like Demolition Man with the three like seashells and how they work when you go to the bathroom?
We're all Kai is referencing Dungeon World. I think I've lost all audio.
I don't know what happened anymore.
Oh, there it is. I got you guys back. I lost all audio for a little bit there.
I don't even know what it is. A
I,
lot.
I was just gonna say that Lucy, you should stream playing The Sims 4 and just the whole experience, the role play between the kids and the
I do stream The Sims, but it's like I don't know. It's I can't do the same thing like when I'm in front of a camera as when I'm just like by myself. Like I can absolutely okay. That's not what I meant at all. But it's like when I'm just sitting here and like I'm talking like to myself, sort of just like entertaining myself. It's different.
I don't know if this has been the most entertaining to view podcast that we've ever done, but it's certainly up there on the most interesting and entertaining on this side of the camera to be one of the hosts.
Aw, yeah.
I don't even know what happened. My mind, like, we just went to space. As far as I'm concerned, in the last hour and a half. We started talking about the news, and we went to Pokemon Go, and then we took a hard left. We got to The Sims. We braked for a second, got back on track, and then porn came up. Don't even know how that got here. Then all of a sudden there was fucking bunnies and moss and shit. I don't know where we were at anymore. What happened? Loot table.
I think we're getting ready to camp out. I think that's where we're at right now.
Final
Team Mystic for life.
Yeah, my closing. Well, hold on. Let me throw it. This is the loading screen for this week. It was a background of The Sims 4 picked out by Caeleste.
And it's super pretty.
It's got some nice colors and some nice buildings rendered.
And a rocket ship.
And a rocket ship.
Which you can
next
woohoo
week,
in.
You can woohoo in the rocket ship? Are you serious? I didn't know. You could woohoo in the observatory. Did you know that you could woohoo in the observatory? Okay.
Oh yeah, you can, and there's a bush that you can woohoo in too.
Two. You can woohoo in the bush.
You know, we get flagged somewhere. I'm just not sure where yet.
Everywhere. Play The Sims 4. It's good stuff.
if I ever play The Sims 4, I'm going to have my sim carry around a black light everywhere.
So that's
That's not an option.
No, especially if he has the neat trait, because he won't go anywhere. He won't leave his house. He'll like just sit there with Kleenex boxes on his feet.
Do you know? Oh my God! Can you imagine Tannlin playing through the criminal?
I haven't
Through the
played
criminal mastermind.
I get sad when I start playing through it because you're just so evil.
So next week, we were talking about the nomad gamers and the fear of missing out.
well, that's everything, folks. That's everything on NBA 2K17. Next week is Nomad Gamers and FOMO, or Fear of Missing Out. Tune in for that one. We'll discuss kind of like this new phenomenon that's happening and how the mentality of maybe new gamers, or we're not really sure if it's old or new, or maybe the internet has something to do with it. I think the internet has a lot to do with it. But the fear of missing out and how it's affected people jumping on bandwagons with gaming and going to and from games before they're even launched as titles. We need to tell the people where to find us, right? Shameless. All right.
Mystic.
Yeah.
That's where you can find me.
Team
What?
Team
Team
Valor.
Mystic.
Team Valor.
I haven't gotten to pick out a team yet.
Level 5, and then you click on a gym. You should be able to pick Team Mystic because that's the best one.
No, it's Valor. Stitcher.
No, it's not.
Stitcher is where you can find this show along with iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Also, you can find the show on our website at loottable.net. Please leave a rating on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. That helps us get found. So if you want people to find this, especially this episode, go ahead and leave us a review. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. And just 1 star, 2 star, thumbs up, whatever Google uses, circles. I'm not sure what they use over there yet, but go ahead and do that for us. And you can send us an email at, I'm going to get to as contact@loottable.net. Am I right on that? Yes? I'm going to say yes. No?
What's up? What was that?
Email contact@loottable.net.
Contact@loottable.net. And
Got it.
And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/c/loottablenet_podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Go subscribe. If you go subscribe to us, we get 100 subs. We can actually say just youtube.com/. And that's all I got, and that's all the shameless promotion you'll get from me. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it to my co-hosts and let them say their goodbyes and countdowns and whatnots.
Anybody need to say bye before we go?
Co-hosts.
Play The Sims 4.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Camping in 5. Play The Sims 4. 3, 2, 1.
Woohoo!
Thanks for listening. Send us an email at contact@loottable.net. You can contact our host on Twitter. Caeleste is at Blood Knight Kai. Lucitie is at Lucitie. Tannlin is at Tannlin, and Flattuss is at Flattuss. Loot Table is a Desert Rain Studio Productions. Music is provided by MDK. Find him and more of his music at soundcloud.com/MDKofficial. Thanks for joining, and game on, adventurers.